Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cheat Code Jiu-Jitsu. Jeff White here again. We are still in the midst of our arm triangle deep dive. We worked on the arm triangle choke death grip in the last video, which, as I said, is my personal current favorite way to do the arm triangle. But, as I also mentioned, it is far from the only way to do the arm triangle choke. There are a lot of different ways that you can put your hands together. There are a lot of different ways that you can move your feet. There's a lot of different ways that you can place your body, and they're all important. So in today's video, we are going to talk more about alternative grips, different things for you to have in your back pocket for the big guys, the small guys, the wiry guys, the lanky guys, whoever it is, we got a grip for you. You can figure something out and put them away. Stay tuned. Back and mount, setting up the arm triangle, alternate grips. So we're going to fast forward to we've already got the arm triangle. If you don't know what you're doing, that means that you haven't been watching the previous videos. Hit pause right now, back up to the beginning of the arm triangle deep dive playlist, play it from the beginning, and then come back. You're done now? Okay, now we're back. So we've got our arm triangle choke. I've got Seth jacked up. I did my little cheat to get my hand through, and I'm going hand on the back of his shoulder, just like we did in the previous video for the death grip. Now, alternate setup that I really like using as well is Gable grip, right here. Important on this, as opposed to the previous grip where I left my hand palm up onto his shoulder and then put it in place. I'm actually going to let him go down. I'm going to turn this hand down, because if you do a Gable grip, the hand that goes underneath of his head needs to be palm down. It's very important because this hand has to pull downwards. Can't do that effectively if it's like this. So turn it like that, throw the Gable grip on, come down. Same or similar type of a situation. I can check the hip like I was doing before, or just go all the way down to the ground. And then I'm going to, same type of finish, squeeze my elbows together, drive forward, get the finish. That works really well. Old school 10th planet way of finishing arm triangles. This is the way that I started finishing arm triangle chokes, and I don't do this as much anymore, but I still do it periodically, is putting more of a rear naked choke grip in place. This works. It's got, in fact, one particular application, which I'll show you here in just a minute, but this hand slides through, and I'm going to lock here at my tricep. The tightest way to finish this at this point is this hand that's going up here by his head. I want to pull it back to my head. If I can't get it to my head, maybe I've got a really big guy and I've got really short arms, I can always go to his head. And if you watch some of my earlier videos on some chokes, I show you on the grate popper a way you can go in here and pinch the nose off. You can do that with this too, if you really want to be a jerk to the guy. But we put this rear naked choke grip on and then finish like this, and then drive and squeeze through, get a similar type of finish. That was the first way I started doing arm triangle chokes. I don't do them that much anymore because in that position, one of the disadvantages that I have putting that rear naked choke grip in place is I actually want the top part of my body to be low. And if you look here, when I've got a rear naked choke in place, my elbow is underneath of me right where I need to go down. So it's actually elevating my upper body up, and it's keeping me from driving my shoulders effectively down into him, which is why I prefer Gable grip. You can see how much lower my chest is to the ground now for this or for this, the death grip. Either one of those get my elbow out of the way. Rear naked choke grip gets my elbow underneath and kind of balances me up. So now, what I've started doing, if I use a rear naked choke grip, for whatever reason, just because it is good situational, I go here and then I sit through like I'm going Casey Gatami, and then I finish here. Now, this has an entirely different squeeze than what we were using before. Previously, I was using that elbow pinch squeeze. For this particular squeeze, I'm actually going to be pulling back and doing a little bit of that arm squeeze that I mentioned in the last video is what you don't really want to do. But I actually have to lift Seth up a little bit. So I pull up and then I twist. Doing that will drive my lat down into his shoulder and drive his shoulder farther down into his neck, and also allow me to tighten up that pinch on the side of his neck. So if I find myself, for whatever reason, needing to go to a rear naked choke grip, being able to sit through, elevate him, and then squeeze is the best way that I've found to finish that particular grip. And if you'll notice as well, I don't know how well the camera angle caught it, but when I started that, I was here, kind of with my butt on the ground. As I went to elevate him and then turn, my butt came up off the mat. So that at that point, the only thing carrying weight is the balls of my feet, and then everything else is driving straight down through his neck. So it works out to be a pretty good and efficient way to finish an arm triangle choke as well. So that's another good way to go. Last one I want to show is called the Jeannie grip. I dream of Jeannie for you old guys. This is an old Jason Flynn special. He used to show this one. He still uses it periodically, but I go through, I grab the back of his shoulder, and then I'm just reaching around and I'm grabbing my other elbow. Driving this in really tight, going through, and then I can either get super low and squeeze, or do the same finish as before and sit through and then torque that. So those are some alternate grips that we can use to finish the arm triangle. Like I said, the death grip is my favorite one, but despite the fact that that's my favorite one, there are people that I do that to that it just does not work at all. Maybe I'm really tired, and so I don't have the power to go ahead and squeeze that, or maybe just for whatever reason their body structure is put together that I'm going to squeeze all day and it doesn't work. Being able to switch off to a Gable grip, you can also use a 3-finger grip, we've shown that with the same finish, or rear naked choke grip, Jeannie grip, whatever. Any of those finishes are viable. Any of those finishes will get taps from arm triangle chokes if you apply them. So it's good to have them in your back pocket, have a wide variety of grips, a wide variety of leg placements that you can use to keep the guy's body off. The last thing that I want to talk about on the close of this video before we wrap this thing up is leg placement. So if I've got Seth down here, traditional way to finish an arm triangle, and this is one that I don't really hardly use at all, is when I get this lock up here, walking out to the side. A lot of people call this teeing up. Now, Seth will tell you this is not enjoyable. And if I really squeezed him here, I would finish him. This works. The problem, and the reason why I don't do this, is if Seth just slides his hips towards me, I just lost my arm triangle choke. Now I slide away and tee up again, and he just slides with me. And we just kind of continue that dance for a while. If I keep my hips actually next to his and focus more on driving through him, or alternatively, check his hip with my knee, pin it in place, and then use that to drive forward, that tends to lead to a far more efficient arm triangle choke. So check with the knee, check with the hips down low, but driving or sitting through. Pair those up with one of those grips that we found. Usually if you can't make the death grip work, one of those will work, hopefully. Come back next time, we're going to talk a little bit of troubleshooting. We're also going to start talking about some exit options. If either the arm triangle isn't working, it's not there, or just for whatever reason, maybe at one of the staging points earlier, your opponent is giving you something that you can take and do a submission before you get there. So remember, if you like the video, make sure you hit the like button. Always helps me out a lot. It helps YouTube show my videos to people and suggested videos and search results and all that kind of fun stuff. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you get notifications every time I upload a new video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks.